All right, well, we are here today to interview our new pastor, Michal White, and her husband, Nathan. Tiffany Norday, I'm Tom Arthur. We work at Sycamore Creek, S Lansing Campus, and we're about to baptize them into hot lava. We've got several things on the table here. We have wings from Sliced by Barbecue. They provided us with 4 buffalo wings. That's our control wings. And then we get to the naked wings, where we start to add our own hot sauce and progressively hotter hot sauce. Jalapeno, habanero, ghost, scorpion, and reaper. We've also got some milk in SCC mugs, because that's like, the standard, cool it down. Yeah, I think we're ready to go, aren't we? So these are the Slice by Saddleback Buffalo Hot Wings. That's good though. I could eat a whole order of those easily.
Oh yeah.
Here's the first question. What do you think of garden gnomes?
Neutral. I like the movie Romeo and Juliet.
I haven't seen
It's
it.
like a cartoon,
Yeah,
and it's like Romeo and Juliet, but they're gnomes.
Is it animated?
Elton John music, I think, right?
I don't like
Yeah.
animated movies.
That's a really interesting fact.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about garden gnomes, Tiffany?
Not interested.
I feel like half of this hot wings thing is going to be just wiping barbecue sauce off your face. I can feel it on my lips.
Yeah,
we haven't even gotten to the jalapeno yet.
No heat.
Let's progress on to the holy jalapeno.
Oh my god. I can smell that heat. Are you okay?
See, you coughing. I don't like this already.
All right.
Oh, why are you making sound effects?
She's nervous.
What story about Jesus drives you crazy? Got to think about it.
Yeah, I do gotta think about it. There's one that he deals with someone who's disabled, and I don't like the way that it plays out. Because it seems like the way it's written is, this is actually a spiritual thing, like it's
That's good stuff.
Spirit or something like that. And I think in a lot of places, disability has been equated with sin and demonic presences, and it's just done a lot of harm to the disabled community. And so I just really wish that it was like just a little different. And I know that it was a different context and different culture, and there can be spiritual reasons for illnesses.
I think for me, it's the like Jesus with the pigs, right? And like casting into the pigs and them running like down over the hill. Because I'm like, I feel like that could have fed a lot of people, right? Like, so there's these questions about like all the bacon, right? Like, so.
I'm not going to feed any Jews.
True, right?
When you were talking about that one, I was thinking about how it is starting to burn on the lips a little bit. We're only on number one. I think about when the one person comes to Jesus, I think he's blind. The disciples say, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he'd be born this way? Jesus says, none. This is the one.
Are you laughing at me?
Yeah, I was, because you were like.
I'm a little.
I feel like the more that I'm in leadership, the more that I have a target on me. And Jesus is talking to the Pharisees and the religious leaders of the day.
Yeah.
I'm like, dang it. It always I feel like I'm getting punched in the gut. It's probably a good thing to have happen to you as a religious leader.
Yeah.
Those moments where different people died and Jesus just took his time.
Oh.
All that anxiety that could have been prevented.
Like, why did Mary and Martha go through that when you could have just healed Lazarus, right?
Now he was trying to prove the point that patience is a virtue that we do not possess naturally.
All right, let's see. Let's go to the next one here. What do we got here? Holy habanero. Oh, the color changes. The color changes. Do you see that? Yeah. Holy habanero.
Y'all doing all right?
I'm doing okay.
You've been given an elephant. You can't sell it or give it away. What do you do with it?
Walk it down to the Potter Park Zoo. See if I can lease it.
Oh, there you go.
Lease that.
That's smart. Rent it out for birthday parties. I don't know how it's going to do in the wintertime.
I mean, what my thought was, like, eat it.
Yeah, I mean, that crossed my mind too. I just didn't want to start that date, right?
Before we go on to the next level, Pete, here's another question. This is Jesus story question.
All right.
What's the biggest or most surprising transformation you've ever seen in somebody who decided to follow Jesus?
I think, growing up in North Carolina, everybody seems to be a Christian, but like in name. And so a lot of the big transformations that I've gotten to be part of have been people going from like nominal Christianity, like in name only, to like active follower of Jesus and like invested in the kingdom. And I think that for me has been.
Yeah.
Are you crying?
I think I did get sweat in my eye. That's not a lie.
Sure.
I forgot the question. I have a friend of mine who had actually been in and out of prison a number of times, a lot of substance misuse issues and a lot of pain that was associated with that and even led to that. And I got to know him really well over the course of time, and just being able to see like the change in his heart from, I mean, I didn't know him much or really during those rough years, right? But the way that he would speak about how he would manipulate and twist people in order to get to a result, to being one of like, I think the most loving, generous people that I'd been able to get close to. And he, absolutely could only attribute it to the work of Jesus and the Holy Spirit, right? So that's why Anya wants to be a chef.
Anya wants to be a chef.
That's
Yes.
cool.
I had an antagonist that was a Saul to Paul, complete. The guy was a total jerk to Christians, and I was part of the Holy Roller group. I wasn't like the most obvious Holy Roller, but that's the group I hang out with. He just like dug into us all the time. Just a complete jerk. That's saying it nicely. There's other word I want to use, except we're recording this. I didn't have anything to do with it. One day he showed up and he had met Jesus and converted.
Wow.
And he was like a jerk on the other side now. Like he was just as outspoken and vocal.
Yeah.
Like really like Paul, he was, Saul was a jerk persecuting, and then Paul was kind of maybe a jerk. It was interesting to see that in real life. Yeah. Your personality doesn't disappear.
Right.
Well,
I think it just takes time for the fruit of the Spirit. I mean, like that process of like seeds and growth and fruit.
Yeah. How about you, Tiffany?
I feel like while I'm listening, I have people that I can't wait to see at church. But
You're praying for
that's
that.
what I hope and I wish.
All right, I think it's time to move on.
Okay.
We're out of the holies, and now we're into
Hey, we're halfway.
Killer Ghost. This is the median. Here we go. This is Killer Ghost.
Maybe it's gonna hit me in a minute, but right now it feels like.
We finish this interview. You walk out, and in your mailbox is a winning lotto ticket, $10 million. What do you do with it?
Well, one of the things like we would do is we would make sure that we were on the same page about however we would spend it or use it, give and support some things that we really think need to happen in the world. So I think that
things
would
like
be
Equal
one.
Justice Initiative. That's one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
But then there's other things like, it's a goal to save up. Like we've got a child that I'm like, I don't know if he's gonna launch and have, or if he's gonna need more assistance throughout life. So that would be a priority.
I mean, I think some fun stuff too, right? Like there have been sometimes this feeling of like having fun, right? And enjoying life is like a taking away from someone else, right? And I feel like sometimes that's been a thing to work through. Like, can I actually do something nice for myself?
$10 million.
Paying off my student loans and David's, paying off the house, pay off my parents' house. I have a list. And then go back to my first love of traveling. Yeah, because that's what I was doing. Oh yeah, I heard a little bit about it when I was preaching. That was my thing.
My lips are I got a good burn going now.
So what would you do?
Well, Sarah and I, our usual go-to is 10% will go to the church. So we were just looking around our house and we're getting ready to move. And like all our furniture is really old or it's been given to us. It'd be nice to get something new. But we don't have a replacement. So I think some stuff like that would be kind of fun. No modifiers on this one. This one's just straight up scorpion. Straight up scorpion. Scorpion.
You say your throat?
Well, that's a different kind of thing.
Like good or bad?
It's coming.
Oh, you can't. I don't like this reaction.
I tried to tell you guys.
It feels like it's a very different level.
Yeah,
These people
that
trying
one.
to take me out.
That one went up.
I think we might be going with you.
That one went up.
Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Oh, that's on the lips right there. Other calls besides being a call. Have you taken a bite yet?
Tiny.
A little bit.
Tiny.
Okay.
I'm like using milk as mouthwash over here for a minute.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
That was exponentially up.
Oh,
Okay.
shoot.
I'm going to the milk. On the lips.
I'm about to call myself. Hey, babe, you want to take my place?
Okay.
I
I often say that one of like my first call before I was called to be a pastor was to racial and economic justice. Do you have any other calls like that besides being a pastor? Or I don't know, Nathan.
Yeah.
If you think about what you're doing as a call, and if there are other
Yeah.
calls that you've had,
For me, the phrase of
was wiping the brow.
wiping the brow, like
it's more the heat. Like
That's
outside.
yeah.
Let's just pretend it's the heat from the
Uh-huh.
sun.
Uh-huh.
To cultivate an awareness of the dignity of God, like the image of God in all people,
Mm.
right? Like I think that's one for me that no history, no status, like none of that should limit how people view you, right? Like so those kinds of things. So I think cultivating an awareness of the image of God in all people is one of the things that is what I feel built for.
Mhm.
So
There's always a question of like who's not here, who hasn't heard this message or isn't being included in this process or whatever it is. I grew up in a Christian Missionary Alliance, which is all about like missions overseas and like the unreached people groups. Who hasn't heard the news? And so that kind of principle of like,
why am I licking my fingers?
Yeah, that's a
oh, it grew to include racial justice in college, and then it grew to include how we can include women and women of color in different places. And then since then, it's grown to include disabilities and things like that. So just that idea of like, justice for everybody, but.
You haven't eaten. You've been waiting for him.
Oh my God.
That was enough. Oh my God. I think I put a lot on that ear. My lips is.
He's gonna tag. Is he really tagging in?
I told you I was bringing a sub.
Friend.
Y'all thought I was playing.
He's tagging in like out of 4 out of 5.
Go hard or go home.
There you go. You gonna flip it over and put some on
Tiffany's
the other
going
side?
home.
All right, David. So we've all answered this question already. Do you have any sense of call?
We're all called to something. Mine is students
Okay.
in the marketplace. So that's why I work at Michigan State.
So you work in financial aid, right? The MSU now.
Yep.
This is an interesting test case of like just jumping right in, like no build up. Is that good or is that bad? Because we've had 3 levels already to coat our mouths and lips.
It burns good.
Yeah.
So this series we're doing, it's going to be about, you're going to share about your Jesus story, your call story. And we've saved for the last one, for your church story, the Reaper. The
Am I
Reaper.
supposed to sign a waiver?
All right, here we go. I'm doing it up good here. There you go. You going to mash me?
Well, you're supposed to show us the way we're supposed to go.
Here we go. All right.
I think she needs a little more.
I think I need some ranch.
Craziest thing. That's hot.
That is really hot.
Craziest thing you've seen in church besides this moment.
Besides this moment.
Want to hold my hand?
Oh man.
Thank you.
I don't know.
I need a minute.
When I was in college, we went to different churches every day or every week. We had a friend who we went to this Pentecostal church, and there weren't any chairs in the place, and they handed out instruments to everybody. And the lady in front of us had a whistle, and she just blew on that whistle whenever the Spirit led. And it was like an hour and a half of music with her blowing on the whistle and everybody with their little hand. There wasn't one preacher. It was like whoever wanted to stand up. It was an hour and a half long sermon.
Oh God.
And they weren't even done at the end with everybody preaching.
I didn't even use the word.
And it happened to be Halloween, so they had an altar called a Stomp on Satan. And everybody went forward, and we decided it was an opportunity to go to leave at that point because the cafeteria was going to close, and we were college students. So we took off, and I kid you not, the people who were preaching were all back there to greet us as we left.
Oh, man.
Inviting us back on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday.
Like they had this tithing challenge, and it was like a few weeks later, it was like, let's celebrate all that God had done during the tithing challenge and during the Daniel fast and all this stuff. But there was no like acknowledgement of like, hey, people here might have been hurt. This like there might not, it might not have all been good. It had been a really heartbreaking season for us, and I was like, no, I can't participate in this beach ball thing like happening.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually did. Like we
I'm
did.
sorry. It's like
left the service.
I am. My eyes are watering.
Oh my God.
So like, also went to like a Pentecostal charismatic church when I was in high school, and there was like I remember there being like Monday night prayer services where we would pray, and then there would be kind of the experience of like everyone getting like drunk in the spirit kind of thing, right? And the modesty cloth people that would run around and throw the cloth over when the fell over. I remember one time where there was like 3 people that were like up in front praying, like locking arms, and it was almost like a taser experience where like pastor prayed, laid the hands on one, and like all 4 of them fell down.
Wow.
I remember that being like, wow, is that how that works? I was pretty young in my faith at that point, or young in being serious about my faith.
David, you gotta have some crazy church
I have
stories.
lots of crazy church stories. I was trying to get an eye connect from Tiff for approval. We had a praise team. The pastor decided to give them a break so they could be ministered to. That was supposed to be at the house. And so,
Oh my God.
Whoa.
And so he asked the assistant pastors who could sing.
Oh no.
Because you can't just say everybody. You be the praise team for a season, so that gives them a break. The church had this old organ in the back of the pulpit, and that's where everybody was lined up with chairs, And so the spirit got hot. A dance broke out, and we had this one woman. She was dancing, and the dancing got out of control. She wasn't watching where she was going.
Oh no.
Oh no.
All of a sudden, her body shifted to the side, and she started moving backwards. What she didn't know is that the marriage minister pastor was next to her, and next thing you know, she ended up pinning him against the organ and was backing it up
Oh gosh.
on him. And so he's praising God. He was like, oh Lord.
Oh my gosh.
His arms ended up like this. So this looks bad. It looks like a big twerk fest, if you will. His wife was on the front row, and she was dancing. She stopped in mid-stride. And he just took it. Now, the rest of us, we were just dying laughing. I just felt. I said, oh my God.
Yeah.
I was slain in a different way.
Yep.
And that was probably one of the wildest things I've seen in church.
Yeah.
Besides this moment, which I'm proud of you for sticking it through. Most proud moment you've been proudest of your church that you've been a part of. So
other stories, definitely not that.
Actually, the Sunday before I started Sycamore Creek, I went to a different church. We were there, and there was this one's not hitting me as hard on the second side. I don't know if I built up to it or not, or it's going to hit me in a second. There it was. It was the inhale. He was so impressed with this elderly lady who had come on Wednesday to the children's ministry. Her car broken down, and she took a taxi. He had her come up front. He said, "We're buying her a new car today."
Oh wow.
And he had 2 ushers stand beside her, and everybody was ushered forward. And she was just in tears. And it was so cool to watch this whole church of like 200 or 300 people go forward and give to her.
We had a moment in Chicago where this person just walked in. He had been walking around the neighborhood looking for apartments and didn't speak any English, but we happened to have someone there who spoke Spanish and English. And he came back a week or 2 later, and like he got an apartment. He had nothing in his apartment. And it just worked out. Like I'm standing there, and this woman has just come up to me and said, I'm moving and I need to get rid of all this furniture and I don't know where to take it. And then he's like, I have an apartment. I don't have any furniture.
Wow.
And then 3 other people are like, all right, Nathan's got a truck. We're going to help move it. And so like the next week they moved everything in. And one of the guys who was pretty new to following Jesus was like, we have to go get him some food. So they just went to the store and got him dishes. And, it's just really moving to see like this small community just rally together to welcome this person who is brand new to the United States.
How long do you think it's going to be before the heat goes off your lips? Nathan, most proud moment?
I think the same one. Actually, I think, well,
you got to go with them.
So I got to go with them, and like the conversation in the truck on the way down were just really, really good. Because he lived like 30 minutes away from us. But one of the guys that was there had, previously been kind of against immigration, right? And so this whole experience of being proximate, recognizing Jesus himself,
like talking about the
refugee at
transformation,
time, that was a huge thing. I was really excited about that.
There's a theme going on here.
We're all sniffling.
Well, so you magically reappeared after.
Yeah, great conversation, y'all.
This is an interesting question for you to tag back into. Did you hear the question?
No.
Moment you've been most proud of your church.
Yes, I did hear that. When I first came on, I really liked how welcoming it was, and I've been here. I'm in my 2nd year, and we're still in that same vibe. I would say, I know it's not a moment, but it's a moment of time for me. Yeah, I'm very proud of the church that I work for. I always embrace people that I've brought, guests and stuff like that. Like, I think I was talking to them earlier. I was like, we have a list. It's called Friends of Sycamore Creek, So that's pretty cool.
It's a really great and awesome thing when you feel like you can invite a friend and be proud and not worry about what's going to happen at your church.
Right. That part.
That's true.
I remember one time you told me at the very beginning when we had that baton passing from Jeremy to you.
Yeah.
And you were like, I've never actually seen a transition from one person in charge of worship to another that was positive.
That was positive, and I mean, it was mutual agreement, and he was happy that I was stepping into his role. You don't come across that too often.
Yeah. Well, we've gone through...
We did it.
We did it. We went through all levels of heat, thanks to Mike's farm and Saddleback Slice. I didn't think about how to end this. And right now my brain is clouded.
It's like a little fuzzy.
Oh, man. So go to the farmer's market, check them out, let us know how it goes for you.
Support your local stores like Slice, and come to Sycamore Creek.
Yeah. I feel great.
Yeah. I'm kind of shaken, like literally
like
shaken.
that jump,
like sort of like I had like a sugar low,
like
or
a sugar.
something. I don't like my body is like I don't know.
I don't think I feel any of my body.
Friends, until the next week or the next time we do Hot Wings, be curious, be creative, be compassionate, and peace out. Or which was that? Is this the close-up one? Until we do this Hot Wings thing again, which I'm sure we will, because it's your favorite thing to do. Be curious, be creative.
I am not going to lie on
be
camera.
compassionate, and peace out.